Welcome back to Farming Simulator and the fourth video in this series on GPS mods in Farming Simulator 22. And today we're going to have a look at Enhanced Vehicle. So Enhanced Vehicle for me is a newer mod. So I've not been using it that much, but it does have a really nice GPS functionality built in. So a lot like Vehicle Control add-on, it brings more than GPS, so it brings differential locks and some other things, and I will look at those in a separate video. So this is just going to be the GPS functionality, or I can't remember what to call it. We'll have a look in a moment. So there'll be a second video on this, like VCA, covering the other functionality. And much like VCA, you don't need to pay to add it to a tractor. It's included. And that means you can also use it on vehicles other than tractors as well, which is quite useful maybe if you just want to stay going down a straight road while you're doing something else. You shouldn't do that in the real world. Or so the other reason that it's quite nice is if you're, say, doing silage or sugarcane carting, something like that in a truck, and you just want to stay running in a straight line alongside the harvester. So I'm going to run through the GPS functionality and can try and cover everything. If I forget something, sorry, I'm not perfect. And we're going to go through all of the key combinations. It's really weird. It feels like there are more key combinations for this mod, and I will say that this mod is not necessarily laptop friendly without remapping some of the key bindings, because it uses a lot of the numpad keys and keys around the numpad. I know on my own laptop I am missing some of those keys, so for this mod, because I really like it, I brought a macro keyboard which I programmed with the relevant controls. I've got a video on that if you want to watch it, so bear that in mind. Otherwise it's a very nice mod. So first thing I'm going to do is open up the menu. That is right control and numpad slash. And so this gives us access to some of the functionality. Most of it you can do from the keypad anyway. So we'll talk about headland mode in a bit. This mod has a bunch of different options when you get to the headland. So track assistant is what they call it. You can set how the lines are shown in here. So the style, I'll show you those in gameplay. Whether they turn off automatically, how long it takes. The angle for the snapping, so a lot like VCA. I'm actually going to change that to be 45 at the moment, and the number of visible tracks, and that's quite useful because it shows you where the next track is, or where over. And like VCA, you can set this up to skip rows, so it's quite useful for that. We've then got all the HUD settings and stuff, and I'll talk through most of those on the second video. I guess the important one here is whether you want the HUD for track assistant on. So just to jump out of the menu quickly, that's no, I don't. If I've had Courseplay on, I could get a cursor. I'll show you. I'll highlight it in video editing magic. That's the HUD for track assistant. So if we get the menu back up, just turn that off. Do okay, we can see that it's gone now, so I'm going to have it on, obviously, and then you could globally turn track assistant on or off and all the other features, and you can reset the configurations. So I just want to say about the keyboard controls, I believe the keyboard controls that I'm going to tell you are correct, but they are different to some of them are different to the ones that are listed on the GitHub page for this mod. So just if things aren't behaving, just double check. So there we are. That's the menu. So right control and numpad slash. So the first key that we are going to want to use is right control and keypad 1. That has calculated our working width for us. You may or may not need to do that to start off with, but we then want to calculate our tracks, and that is right control and pad 2, and you can see there that the tracks have been laid out for us, and you can see the 2 tracks either side. So that's just calculated them, it's not enabled it. if we want to turn it on, so I'm just going to get so we're not quite on track. I'm going to cycle through the align styles first. So this is the default one. We then do right control numpad 3, and that gives us the working width plus where we're pointed. And then again, we get both, and then we get none. I generally like to have this one. So to activate GPS, it is right control and end. And you'll see the number's gone green in the middle there, and if we pull forwards now, we will get onto the track. I'm actually going to go into the menu, have it so the lines are always on. There we go. Just so we can see what's going on. Right, there we are. We are lined up now, and we can drop our implement and go forwards, and it will keep us on track. So if we now look just above the speedo in the right hand segment, we will see we have so the bottom one of those is the working width, the top one is the headland mode, and you can see it showing us we are 10 meters from the headland. We have a distance where something may happen of 5 meters, and we have the mode currently set to nothing. So if I keep moving forwards, you'll see that the distance is going down. So to change the headland mode, and there are 3 modes, it is right control and numpad star. So we have do nothing, we have turn around, and this is it will just turn around. So, and I'll demonstrate that mode in a moment. And there is stop. So a bit like guidance steering, you can tell it to stop. And then you can increase or decrease the distance. So that uses right shift and numpad star and numpad slash. So here we are decreasing the distance. So here we are increasing the distance that we are going to stop. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 meters. I'm going to set it to 16 meters. Okay, so that was right shift and numpad star and numpad slash. So we've got it set to 16 meters, and I think we're actually not far enough away, so let's just back up a bit. Right, lower it now, and we go, when we get to 16 meters from the edge of the field, we should stop. There we go. But I found this is much more reliable than the issues that I had with guidance steering and doing this. I'm now going to reduce that distance. So if we go down to 8 meters, I'm going to put the mode to turn. So right control and star. I've now got it set to turn. And I'm just going to demonstrate this so you can see how it does it. It does not do a super neat turn. It's not headland mode, so it doesn't lift the implement up. It will just turn. So there we go. And it may struggle to make the turn, as you will see. Okay, obviously it struggled to make that turn slightly. You may want to change how many tracks it is trying to step when it does that. So if we go back and get on our line again, and right control end to turn guidance mode on, you'll see in the bottom left hand box of the track assistance HUD, it's got -3, +1, 2. So we're on track -3 at the moment, and it's going to add 1 to the track when it does the automatic turn to go to -2. You can change that. So if we use right control, numpad 6 and numpad 4. See, we could increase that to 2, so it's essentially going to skip a row. If you wanted to go the other way, you could use 4, and you could do it so that it went to the left. And you could do then choose your number. So if we set it to -2, we'll drop the implement down and we will get going. And then when we get to the correct distance from the edge of the field, it will skip 2 rows, and there we go. So that's headland mode, and that's skipping rows. There we go. If I get the lines back up. So if you weren't quite happy with how you had the tracks set up, you might want to shift them a little bit. So to shift them left or right is right control numpad plus or minus. So go. Just if you need to fine align it with the edge of the field or anything like that. And then if you wanted to rotate it, you could use right control and page up and page down, and that will rotate the track for you. If you want to go bigger chunks, you can do right control, right shift, and it will move it 45-degree chunks. Or if you want to do 90-degree chunks, you can use right shift and page up and page down. So unlike the other 2 GPS versions, I don't think you can manually set the working width, but you can adjust it to whatever you need it to be. So to alter the width, we're going to use right shift and then numpad plus or minus. You see it's going up or down by 10 centimeters each time. And then if you had an offset implement and you needed to adjust that, you'd use right shift, right control, and plus or minus. And we'll have a look at that in a moment in a plow. So in the JCB now with the offset plow, and I've done right control to set a track, and we're going to do right control end to turn on track guidance, and we'll just drop the plow down and see what things look like. And it kind of looks like the offset is not quite right, so we'll do a right control 3, not 3, a right control 1, recalculate the width, and we'll have another go. So we'll recalculate the tracks as well. Still looks to me like it is a little bit off on the working width. I'm not sure why that other set of lines is there. So actually the width looks okay, it's the offset that's wrong. So that's right control, right shift, and we're just going to move that to about there and have another go. And that looks better to me. Looks better. So let's lift up, and this doesn't have an option to alter how the offset works. So I'm assuming that it automates that. But I would be expecting to be over here. Yep. So right control end to switch it on, and it has then switched the offset over. So put that down now, and that seems okay to me. That seems okay. So pick up again. Offset tools, I think, is a really good test for any GPS mod. How it handles them, whether they work well or not. Right control end again, and it's sorted the offset out for us. Pop that down. Yeah, that seems to be working okay. So as I said, I don't think there's a way of turning off the offset. I don't know if with a fixed tool it might not do that rotation. In fact, we can check because we have mowers here. So if we do the same thing, we'll do control 2 to calculate a course, and I guess we could actually just see if it is doing things correctly or not. It is. So yep, that works fine for tools that don't rotate as well. So it looks like it is a good option for offset tools. I think that's everything for enhanced vehicles GPS mode. Don't think you can change the line height or the offset, so that can be a little bit frustrating if you're in a thick crop. You can't see where your lines are, but overall I think it's a very good mode. It has some very nice features. So the headland mode is really nice. The fact you can set skip lanes is really nice. Yeah, seems to handle offsets quite well. It's the first time that I've really played with offsets and enhanced vehicles track assistant or GPS. So yeah, it's available on, I think it's only available on GitHub. I don't think it's on ModHub. I'll put links for it below, and I'll do a follow-up video at some point with the other features that are part of enhanced vehicle. If you've enjoyed this video, click the like button. Any comments, questions or suggestions, stick them below, and I will see you next time.